Ever watch like one of those time lapses of a rose blooming?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a whole universe exploding out of like this tiny bud, you know? Kind of makes you think, right? And that's what we're diving into today, how the universe does its thing. From the teeniest quantum jitters to, well, those awesome roses. And we've got some seriously cool source material for this one. It's a wild mix of physics and, get this, poetry.
Yeah. It's not every day you get those two together.
Right. So let's jump right in. The source kind of throws this big idea at us right off the bat, this idea of a fundamental. Like, what if everything we see, everything around us is just this fundamental something rearranged?
Yeah. And they describe it as like partless, permanent. It's the root of everything, literally.
It does feel kind of philosophical at first, almost spiritual in a way.
For sure. For sure. It's a concept that sort of bridges those two worlds, you know? Science calls it the quantum vacuum. But even though it's called a vacuum, it's not empty space.
Okay, so not nothing.
Not at all. It's more like, imagine a field, right? And this field is absolutely buzzing with potential energy, constantly changing.
So it's more like the something that everything else comes from.
Exactly. And this actually connects to a super important point the source makes. It says, the simplest can't be made.
Okay.
So this fundamental essence, this fundamental can't be created or destroyed. It can only be like transformed.
Yeah.
Just like energy, really.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see where this is going. But how do we get from this fundamental to like the Big Bang? And, well, to us.
All right, so buckle up because this is where it gets really wild. Because this fundamental is already something, the source suggests that the Big Bang wasn't really a beginning, but more like this. This absolutely massive, rapid transformation of this pre-existing state. Like, we're not talking about something coming from nothing. We're talking about something changing form in ways that, honestly, we're still trying to wrap our heads around.
Wow. That's a lot to take in. So we're all just like rearrangements of this fundamental stuff.
Yeah, in a nutshell, yeah.
Yeah, but it gets weirder, right? Because then the source brings in quantum fields.
And this is where things get really real, even if they sound strange. See, quantum fields aren't just some theoretical idea. They're literally the fabric of reality.
Okay, I think I get that. Like, quantum fields are everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. So think of something like light. We see it, we feel its warmth, right? But what is it really? It's a wave. And that wave is traveling through something called the electromagnetic field.
Right.
So quantum fields are like that electromagnetic field, but for all the fundamental particles that make up the universe, every particle has its own field.
Okay, I think I'm following. So if these quantum fields are like the fabric of the universe, then what are particles? Are they like the threads?
Exactly. The source makes this really cool comparison. They say, imagine a tapestry. You know, it might have these intricate designs and patterns, but if you zoom in close, really close, it's all just threads, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with particles. Every electron, every quark, they're all identical because they're essentially vibrations in their own specific quantum fields, just like threads in a tapestry.
I love that analogy. But how do you go from these simple threads, these particles, to the incredible, like, diversity of, well, gestures broadly everything?
The source has a simple answer for that. Change. The universe is dynamic. It's never actually at rest. Particles are always interacting, combining, forming larger structures. And even those structures are always in motion.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But crucially, there's a speed limit to all this change.
Yeah.
The speed of light. And this cosmic speed limit, it governs everything, cause and effect, the way the universe evolves, everything.
It's mind-blowing when you really think about it. And the source talks about this, like jitter and sing. It's like the universe is always humming with activity, even at the smallest level.
Absolutely. And this gets to another amazing concept from the source. True nothingness can't actually exist, even at the quantum level, what we call a vacuum. It's not empty. It's teeming with energy fluctuations, particles popping in and out of existence.
So it's not static at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
It's always doing something, always changing.
And this is where our source takes that surprise turn. Because in the middle of all this, like, hardcore physics, there's poetry. We go from quantum jitters to fields of flowers, petals scattering on the wind.
It's so cool, right? And I love how they use the rose, this symbol of beauty and fragility, to represent the continuous cycle of creation and destruction that's happening all around us all the time.
It's a cycle that never ends.
Exactly. Just like a rose blooms and fades, stars are born, they burn bright, and they eventually die. And when they die, they return their energy to the cosmos, and the cycle continues.
It's like the poem is holding up a mirror to the science, you know? Like, look at the beauty in this constant cosmic dance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it highlights how deeply interconnected everything is.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. The atoms in our bodies, they were forged in the hearts of stars. And those stars, they were born from the same fundamental essence that makes up everything around us.
It's incredible when you really think about it. So, just to make sure I'm getting this right, we live in a universe that's never truly at rest. Like, everything is in constant flux, always changing, always becoming something new. And it all comes from this one thing, something incredibly simple, but at the same time, totally mysterious.
Got it.
Wow. Okay, so here's something for everyone listening to ponder. If this quantum vacuum, this fundamental something, is always up to something, what else could be possible? What other wonders are waiting for us to discover?
Tonight I see dreams calling me. The waves crash on the shore. The whispers of folklore. In the wind I feel stories becoming real. Lost in the stars up above, searching for a sign of love. In the night under moonlight, hoping I'll find my life. Echoes in the dark, finding my heart's mark. Through the distant sea, I'll find a key. Fire in the sky, burning brightly high, guiding me home, no more to roam. Lost in the stars up above, searching for a sign of love. In the night under moonlight, hoping I'll find my life. Echoes in the dark, finding my heart's mark. Through the distant sea, I'll find the key. In the sky so wide, where the stars collide. Hear the call of night, echo dreams in flight.